you want to be first through the door, leading the charge, storming the front, tearing apart enemy infantry and vehicles alike, then the Assault class is for you. In this class analysis series, I will be analyzing and reviewing the various classes found throughout the Battlefield games. Today, we look at the Assault class as found in Battlefield 1. This is the basic standard class designed for one thing and one thing only, bringing death to the enemy. The Assault doesn't concern itself with issues like supplying ammo, healing, or spotting for teammates. The Assault class specializes in close quarters, explosive combat, using automatic weaponry and shotguns. It lends itself to an extremely aggressive playstyle, made for running, gunning, and hip firing. The class shines by forcing enemies to panic and attempt to go toe-to-toe with the Assault's superior close-range firepower. The Assault is also the dedicated anti-vehicle class in Battlefield 1, with an array of explosive gadgets all designed to dismantle and destroy. The primary weapons of the Assault consist of a variety of rapid-firing, short-range automatic rifles, and beefy, hard-hitting shotguns. While the automatic weapons can certainly have decent killing power at medium or even longer ranges, especially for those players who have mastered tap firing as opposed to full auto spray and pray, they truly excel at close-range encounters, and for shotguns that should really go without saying. For this reason, Assault players, probably more than any others, need to be acutely aware of cover and staying out of enemy sights until they can get up nice and close. An Assault player who can get the jump on an enemy squad, or a trench full of players, can be absolutely devastating, as they rip and tear until it is done. This close-range lethality is further emphasized in the fact that most Assault weapons feature bayonets, reinforcing an aggressive playstyle. While all classes can be played aggressively, the Assault is best suited to storming defenses and capturing objectives, so make sure you play that objective. In terms of weapon effectiveness, you can't go wrong with the MP18 variants. This starting weapon is extremely versatile and incredibly good all-arounder, able to take close and longer ranged engagements with a generous mag that gives you good staying power. The Automatico is another solid choice, and many players have cursed this gun as they die to it over and over and over. It features effective hipfire, recoil, and rapid firing rate. This gun can do some serious damage. The Annihilator Trench variant is your close-range, haha gun go brrr option. This weapon absolutely melts enemies at close range, but anything over 30 meters you might as well pull out your secondary, as the spread is immense. For shotguns, the Model 10 and M97 Hunter variants are powerful and quite forgiving, both with the ability to easily one-shot close enemies. The Model 10 has surprisingly good range as well, and is probably the most effective overall shotgun in my opinion, although the semi-automatic Sjogren Inertial, I think is how you say it, gets an honorable mention here as well. If you feel confident in your aim, you can rock the Model 1900 Slug variant, and delete enemies with one of the fastest time to kills in the entire game. While other classes have some anti-vehicle options, your team is going to primarily rely on you as an Assault to eliminate enemy tanks and vehicles. The dedicated anti-vehicle class has gone through several redesigns throughout the Battlefield series, from engineers and anti-tank classes in Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2, to the Demolition Kit in Bad Company, to the Engineer in Battlefield 3 and 4, and finally to the Assault as seen in Battlefield 1 and 5. Due to the nature of the large-scale mixed infantry and vehicle combat that is a staple of the Battlefield series, having a class that can engage at range and up close with vehicles is essential for balanced gameplay. In Battlefield 1, all 5 Assault gadgets are designed for only this purpose. I'd like to discuss the gadgets from worst to best at fulfilling the role of the class and overall usefulness. Although each gadget has very different functions and use cases, so it's a bit like comparing apples and oranges. However, I argue that some are much less useful in most situations, and coming in worst here are the AT mines. Mines are a staple gadget in the series with varying results. However, the AT mines in Battlefield 1 are fairly easy to spot, and despite being a set it and forget it type of gadget, are tricky to use effectively. If mines were included with the kit always, I would obviously use them much more, but to me they are not worth the cost of a different gadget. Next, we have the Dynamite. The Dynamite is this game's version of C4 or TNT as seen in 1942, and functions much the same way. You throw it, then blow it. The throwing distance is incredibly short, but the destructive power is immense. Getting close enough to a tank to effectively throw and trigger the Dynamite without dying can be quite difficult, but can easily disable and destroy most vehicles in the game. Dynamite can also be useful for clearing trenches and nests of enemies, although again, the short range makes you quite vulnerable as you run up to throw it. For the second best Assault gadget, I have the AT Rocket. The AT Rocket is less impressive when compared to its more modern rocket launching counterparts as seen in other Battlefields, due to requiring a bipod deployment to fire. However, it is nevertheless an effective tool of destruction against tanks, infantry, and even planes. Tanks overall are actually more difficult to take down in Battlefield 1 when compared to other games in the series, so don't expect the AT rocket to be the end-all solution for them, but the ability to disable parts and do damage from range is invaluable. Just be mindful of where you are aiming, as shots can easily ricochet and glance off armor if you hit it at the right angles. The AT rocket also features an anti-air variant called the AA rocket. Technically it is listed as a separate gadget, but it's so similar I'm just bundling the two. The AA rocket acts as a single-shot, portable flat cannon and can be effective at taking down or damaging those pesky aircraft. The best overall gadget for the Assault class, and one of the best gadgets in the game, are the AT grenades. These little grenade bundles of joy are impressively destructive and versatile. Effective against armor and infantry alike, the AT grenades can and should be thrown around as much as you can. The throwing range and arc are really useful for hitting targets while safely behind cover, and the blast radius guarantees you some hits. When combined with other gadgets, these can reduce enemy armor to scraps extremely quickly. Overall, the Assault class epitomizes the fast-paced, brutal, aggressive gameplay of Battlefield 1, and while arguably simpler than the other classes, can be incredibly effective and fun to play. I hope you enjoyed this class analysis. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, as this is the first in a new series of videos that I will be doing. Until next time.